Hi, ladies and gentlemen, Morino Ravenberg here again. This is just a short little video that I thought that I'd make, just to give you guys more of an insight into daily life, or specifically what daily life is like for me as an occultist. Yeah, and so let me just start off by saying that honestly, personally, I love my job. I think I have the best job in the world, to put it that way. For me, the day is, I have way too much free time on my hands. I literally have barely anything to do on a daily basis. All I do is just sit around the house because I have little to nowhere to go. Okay, I only go outside when I need to run errands or something similar, or if I need to go to a store or a mall to buy something, you name it. But regarding my location, I've already seen everything that's worth mentioning, all the sites and so on, so there's nothing really that's left to be seen. And yeah, I am a person that gets bored by nature really quick, ridiculously quick. And I have a short attention span too, okay? My mind jumps impetuously from one point to another. So yeah, but in any case, what I do at the moment is simply that the fact that I'm an occultist for hire, as most of you know, and I don't get customers on a daily basis. I maybe get a couple of customers on a monthly basis, maybe 3 or 4 customers. Okay, and so that means that, let's just say I only get a customer once a week on average, or twice a week. And even then, when I discuss a matter with a customer, it's simply a matter of minutes. I'm done talking to that customer in 15 minutes or something. So yeah, I have more than enough spare time, okay, and I focus myself completely on occultism, which is the way things are supposed to be done. I'm all quality and not quantity. So I'm definitely not going to waste my time and energy working some mundane job, which I hate, especially in my current location. So yeah, that's what life looks like, honestly, for a magician for hire like me, a ceremonial magician. I have nothing else to do, really, honestly, literally nothing. I just sit around the house all day, and I fill the void by watching a huge amount of YouTube videos and other things besides writing when I have a new article to update on the blog and so on. So yeah, that's what daily life looks like for me as an occultist. And I shared this with a customer in the past, but I haven't shared it with you guys yet. Regarding the spirits that I work with, I see them on a daily basis. They're literally part of my daily life. My first in command, my everything, the Archangel Samael, and my second in command, basically let's just say my vice patron, that is Sandalphon, the Archangel Sandalphon. Both of their altars are in my room, in my bedroom. And they're simply part of my daily life, along with all the other guys that I work with, but they're primary. They're always with me, regardless of where I go, regardless of what I do, they're always with me. Yeah, and that is it. So yeah, it is cool, of course, from a neutral point of view, to be able to experience all of that. Of course, it also has its drawbacks, okay? The drawback is that the energy that flows through me constantly is a heavy burden to carry, okay? Of course, I'm used to it, and I'm used to it to the point where I don't consider it a burden anymore. But yeah, from a neutral point of view, it's like I carry 2 gigantic anvils on my shoulder worth of energy. That's what that's what it feels like to me. It's like when you're having, it's difficult to explain, but it's the best way to describe it is as if I have electricity, an electrical current running through me non-stop. Imagine that, just having, let's just say, 200 volts running through you, going from your feet up to your spine, all the way to your head and your shoulders, where the majority of the energy just houses itself. If you were to touch me, for example, on my shoulders, if you were to go like this, and you were to leave your hands there for at least a minute, then yeah, you'd feel the energy too. People have told me in the past, but that wasn't energy, that was just more stress. I was stressed out to the point where people that touched me here were like, wow, you've got a gigantic load on you here. And I was like, you have no idea. Now it's just pure energy and it never goes away. Again, like I said, it never goes away. Okay? The second I wake up in the morning, boom, it's there. Always there. Okay? It doesn't matter. The only relief I get, to put it that way, relief, I don't see it as a burden. So relief is a figurative, I call it relief in a figurative sense. Figuratively spoken, relief is when I go to sleep, of course. When I go to sleep, it's lights out for me in general. I don't dream too often, okay? I used to dream a lot in the past, but that was more due to occult work. Dreams were messages and interactions with other spirits regarding work that was going on. But right now things are stable, and therefore for me it's just literally like I'm a cyborg. Lights out, boom, and lights on again simply when I wake up. And I'm hit with a wave of neurosis and thoughts. Yeah, that's also one of the drawbacks of my work. I personally have a karmic character trait. I think I mentioned that before in the past, either via article or via one of my YouTube videos. But it simply means that the more work I commit and the heavier the nature of my work, or the more severe my work, the heavier the toll it takes on me. And I'm all or nothing. I am not afraid to stick my hand in fire. Hell, I'll throw myself into the fire. I'm literally all or nothing. It's do or die for me. So it goes without saying that, yeah, there are times where you almost feel like you're going insane, where I personally feel like I'm going insane. The immense level of energy that is being thrown at me, or not energy, but the immense level of side effects that my work has on me every now and then, to the point where it's literally like I'm bombarded with practically every thought since my day of birth up to this point is overwhelming. It's like being hit with a wave, okay, an oceanic wave. That's neurosis for you. But I'm already neurotic from a neutral perspective. My astrological chart, my natal chart gives automatically displays that I have neurosis as a character trait by default, and I know that. I've been neurotic my entire life, okay. I regularly have thoughts of something that happened yesterday ago. It could be anything. Something that happened yesterday to something that happened 10 years ago. All of a sudden pop up in my head. And my brain automatically analyzes it. Why did this happen? When did it happen? Of course, neurosis, even something as annoying or something that's as bothersome as neurosis, has its benefits in the sense that it keeps me sharp and it keeps me on my toes. Neurosis is the reason one of the reasons I'm able to maintain my high level of quality regarding my work, because I have the tendency to overanalyze everything, almost to an OCD level. Okay, I overanalyze all of my work. You know, how can this be done better on a daily basis? Why can it be done better? It has to be able to be done better. Every situation is reviewed in my mind almost on a near daily basis, of at least twice or three times, at the very least twice or three times. It could be 5 to 10 times on a daily basis, on a near daily basis. So yeah, it's so that's what daily life is like for me as an occultist. And the guys that I work with, I love seeing spirits. I see them the same way that I see people, you know, with minor differences. You know, the fact that their spirits also makes them etheric. Of course, some of them can shapeshift easily. Sandalphon, for example. He's saying hi right now. He's going like this. And again, they're literally just part of my daily life. If I were to make offerings to them, for example, I were to just offer them food, they would tell me, you know, if I'd automatically ask them if they want pepper or what they want on their food, and they openly tell me, yeah, this is okay, and I'm in the mood for some soup today, you name it. I'm going to give you guys an example. At the moment, aside from my patron and vice patron, I'm working with the Archangel Raziel and the pagan god Kronos. So I'm working with, aside from my patron and vice patron, those are 2 spirits, I'm working with 2 spirits aside from them. So in total, I engage with 4 spirits on a daily basis. And yeah, they greet me every morning, okay? Literally when I wake up, it's good morning, or before I go to bed, it's good night, see you tomorrow. They do that on a daily basis, not because I ask them to. They literally do that on a daily basis, okay? I mean, the second that for example, if I were to watch a movie and if I were to just doze off or drift off in the way of my patron immediately tells me, hey, I think it's time you went to bed, you know. Kind of like a maternal or a paternal father figure. Yeah, and I appreciate that. I was like, oh yeah, thanks for reminding me. Yeah, I'm starting to lose it. I'm starting to fall asleep. Yeah, I'll just watch this tomorrow. And he says the same thing almost every day. He says, rest well, or good night, rest well, and I'll see you tomorrow. And the second I wake up, the first thing is his altar. The second I get up out of bed, my feet touch the ground. I'm staring at this altar, and he's like, morning. And then I look at Sandalphon, and he's also like, morning. And what he appears like, what Samael appears like for me, my beloved Lord Samael, is a huge guy. Okay, we're talking about a guy that's at least he's standing beside me right now. It's a guy in a black robe, completely black robe, kind of like a Grim Reaper figure, but realistically speaking, he's at least 2.5 meters or 3 meters. Let's just say 2.5 meters, or between 2.5, 2.5 and 3 meters tall. He can change his hair color at a whim. Sometimes he has black hair, sometimes he has blonde hair, but it's traditionally blonde, short curly hair, and reminds me a bit of Lucifer. But he can also have kind of like a mannish ponytail, just kind of like a ponytail with thingy hair, with flat hair that goes all the way to the back, and it's a really long ponytail. It comes up all the way to, it's kind of like a ponytail at arm's length. And he holds these swords that I gave him. Sometimes he holds just one gigantic sword, a huge sword. We're talking about Game of Thrones style swords. And sometimes it's just these 2 Solomonic swords. They're still huge. So just in a relative sense. And yeah, sometimes he's barefoot. Other times he wears shoes or sneakers. Other times he wears sandals, but it's more barefoot. And that robe that he's wearing is kind of like a toga, and sometimes he's engulfed by flames. He has fire around him, and he did show me something. He did show me a cool thing. I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, wow. His wings, for example, he's a seraphim. He belongs to the seraphim order. So he has 6 wings, and his wings are white traditionally. He can change the color, but traditionally they're white. And when he goes like this, he just releases his wings. And he's doing it right now. Sometimes he also holds a spear, and he's holding a spear right now because he gets bored with swords sometimes. But his wings have eyes. That's what I like so much. His wings literally are covered in eyes, and all of these eyes are looking at me, just going like And sometimes you've got a couple of huge eyes with a bunch of little eyes all over them, all over his wingspan. It's really cool to see. If I could draw, I would make a drawing, and it would be so nice. Typical horror movie style thingy. And Sandalphon, in his true form, Sandalphon is a tall angel. Sandalphon is also known in the Kabbalah, I think, as the tall one. You'd have to consult the oracle on Sandalphon. And yeah, Sandalphon is standing right there. Sandalphon also almost always has a spear with him, and he's dressed in white clothing with a white sash. He looks like a Roman soldier, you know, those are in medieval Roman times. Traditionally, Sandalphon's hair is blonde. He can also change it to black. But Sandalphon is so tall that they're equally tall, generally speaking, 2.5 meters approximately. Let's see. Sometimes he holds different things in his hands. Right now he's holding a lantern that is emanating some bright kind of light. But Sandalphon can also change his colors. Okay, one of the other colors or the other shapes that he takes is a guy, same figure, same appearance, and he has almost like a semi-mechanical voice, an echoey voice, but it sounds like a cyborg is talking. Or he can also have a normal human-like voice, but that voice is silent. And right now, for example, he is wearing completely blue, the same outfit but completely blue with a golden sash, a golden yellow sash, and he also has a shield sometimes, a shield that's made of pure gold, right, or at least gold color. He says it's made of pure gold. It can be both. Okay, he says either golden yellow or pure gold, but he can easily turn it into gold, since he also rules over minerals and the earth and so on, blah blah blah. Yeah, and his ponytail turned turned black. Yeah, I love staring at them sometimes. Okay, sometimes I really stare for at least a minute or two. I go like, I keep staring at them, because regardless of how many times you see them, it still amazes you to see something like that, you know. It's so beautiful to see spirits, to be able to see celestial and divine spirits. It's just beautiful. He says, thank you for the compliment, Sandalphon. And yeah, that's it for my patron and my vice patron. Like I told you guys already, I adopted two-party system, kind of like a political system. The same way that there's a president and a vice president, or a prime minister and a vice prime minister, I think. Then I have a patron and a vice patron. Samael is my first in command. Yeah, right here, his seal. And Sandalphon is my second in command. He's my vice patron. He comes in second place. And he says happy to be that. And yeah, these guys are guys that I'll be working with for the rest of my life, or for eternity. Okay, these guys are just it for me. They're the two most important things in my life. Him being the most important thing, and Sandalphon being the second most important thing. And the two others that I work with, for example, Raziel takes on the shape of also a tall guy. Raziel is also tall, 2.5, okay, huge guys. But Raziel looks like a Native American guy. He's standing in front of me. Funny thing, Raziel, he holds kind of like a plate with food always, and he hits me over the head with it playfully, like this, bang. Kind of like a tinfoil bowl with food, cupcakes. He's asking me if I want one right now. He always does that. It's okay, no. And he's wearing dark blue, and he's wearing a crown made of thorns, kind of like Jesus, the way that Jesus wore it. But he literally looks like a stereotypical Native American guy with a normal, solid, but stern, silent voice, and hair falling down almost all the way to his elbows, all the way to his shoulders. And he also has huge wings. The wings can be black, can be white, or bluish color, but they're white traditionally. Yeah, they can also be dark blue. And last but not least, Kronos. Kronos simply manifests as Kronos is short, okay? Kronos can be tall too, but traditionally he likes to be as tall as as the average human being, you know, no taller than me. And he holds a stick in his hand, almost like a broomstick, but without a broom, of course. And he's also wearing a dark blue robe. He can also wear a grayish robe and have a beard that is neatly maintained. But this is the traditional version, okay? His younger version is also almost hair that looks moist and wet, with a not a bandana, just a hairband over this part. And his hair is like this, and that bandana keeps the hair in place. And he's just a general well-groomed guy with a semi-well-kept mustache and a beard. And he has blue eyes. I love his blue eyes, dark blue eyes. Typical Germanic individual. He says, tell them I don't eat my children. And yeah, that's true. Okay, regarding Kronos, the whole thing of Kronos eating his children is just symbolic. Okay, Kronos can be a disciplinary figure, but Kronos is one of the friendliest people that you'll meet in general. Kronos doesn't have a temper or anything like that. He says, unless you really get me pissed off, or unless you really get me pissed. But in general, nah, Kronos is nothing but a joy. And Kronos is basically the only god that I've worked with on that I'll be working with for the time being on a long-scale basis, or in the long term. I'm traditionally not fond of pagan gods, but yeah, Kronos is the exception. I'm still going to keep it secret what I work with for Kronos, or what goal I'm working towards by utilizing Kronos, or by employing or by working with Kronos. And yeah, that's basically it. And he can also hold a lantern, for example. He's holding a lantern right now, going like this. He was like, tell them I can also hold a lantern. But yeah, that's basically it with Kronos. He just looks like your stereotypical Greek individual back in the day in ancient times, back when he was still worshipped as a Titan god. And yeah, that's basically it. I'm just checking to see if there's anything else now. Kronos has nothing else, no other distinctionable features. And yeah, that's basically it with Kronos. So now you guys know in any case what daily life looks for me as an occultist, and what it's like to see spirits, to put it that way. My apologies for the dark thingy. My apologies for the fact that it's a bit dark. Hold on, let me turn on the light. But look at. Yeah, no, the reason is that it's dark outside, despite the fact that it's afternoon. But it's bad weather here, non-stop for the past. It's been bad weather for the past week, so hence that. Let's see if I missed anything. No, that's all. I'm only covering the spirits that I work with by default right now. And now you know what they look like, and I see them on a daily basis. Almost every time I walk past their rooms or their altars or the room in which their altars are kept. Yeah, so that's what it looks like for me.